Alexander Volkanovski deserves the number one pound for pound spot, and in my opinion, Islam Makhachev should stay at number two. Now, what I have here playing in the corner of the screen, as you can see, is Makhachev's reaction to not being named the number one pound for pound spot. And his reaction, to sum it up simply, is he feels there's some sort of discrimination going on against him. He feels biased against. Now, frankly, I think that's really he's misunderstanding a lot of things, but let me explain this a little bit. I think that one thing a lot of people don't understand is that most people are human beings, that is, are not as rational as we like to think of ourselves. I heard somebody talk about this one time, and it's very true that most people are probably 1, 2, or 3 bad interactions from either seeing some sort of pattern, hating a group of people, hating some sort of ideology. Like, the theory is that for most people, you have 1, 2, 3 bad interactions with a group of people, you're going to feel a certain way about that typical group of people forever. You have 1, 2, 3 bad reactions with, let's just say, lawyers, you're going to hate lawyers forever now. Now, Islam Makhachev's case, he's pointing out Petr Yan, Ankalaev, and now him. And he feels that he sees a pattern, again, 1, 2, or 3 interactions, or things that he notices that now make him feel that Russians are being discriminated against inside the UFC. Remember, he got to fight in Abu Dhabi for his title fight. He wasn't champion, so that was his turf. He got that on. That was his advantage. And then he went and defended his title in a close fight against Alexander Volkanovski in Australia and won a close fight. To me, I think it's very clear that things have went his way as well. So when it comes to the pound for pound stuff, again, Volkanovski, in my opinion, clearly deserves the number one pound for pound spot. It was a close fight. Volkanovski moved up in weight. He put on a very competitive fight. Those are two reasons you can say, but let's actually discuss this. What does pound for pound actually mean? Some people have different definitions of pound for pound, but to me, pound for pound is the combination of a lot of things. Some people like to talk about title defenses and how much title defenses a person has. Some people also like to talk about win streak, especially at a high level, how long is a person's win streak. Some people like to combine those previous two things I mentioned alongside with the nature and dominance in the way that they're beating fighters. So let's take those things I just mentioned, okay, and let's agree that they have something to do with pound for pound. Now let's talk about when it comes to the actual weight. From what I've seen, most people have two definitions of pound for pound. From my perspective, most people have two definitions for pound. The first being, and I do not agree with this definition at all, if weight classes were equal and we had a theoretical hypothetical world where all weight classes were equal and we can hypothetically put them in the same weight class and there was no weight difference and their skills stayed the same, who would win? Now obviously to me that's nonsense and it doesn't make sense, because theoretically how could you make someone like Francis Ngannou and someone like Demetrius Johnson hypothetically in the same weight? Because how do you do it? So Francis Ngannou's power would carry over, okay, but does his speed stay the same? Because if his speed stays the same, then Demetrius Johnson clearly is going to be much faster. And then what about the conditioning? Like, if all weight classes are equal and their skills are equal, Demetrius Johnson is clearly going to have the conditioning advantage as well. The speed advantage, the conditioning, just the technique, how quickly he throws everything. To me, it just doesn't make sense to break it down like that. I use, which I think is the more sensible way, is just very simply, look, you take any given champion, how well would they do if they move up or down a weight class, preferably up, one weight class, 2 weight classes, how would their skills fare? I think that's a much better and much more realistic way of looking at it, combined with everything else. So all the things I mentioned when it comes to title defenses, win streak, everything like that, then if they move up, how would they do? When you take that into account, yeah, Volkanovski is clearly, the number one pound for pound still. Volk is still number one pound for pound. Islam is number 2. It is possible that down the line, Islam can surpass Volk on the list. But as of right now, due to the nature of the fight, Volkanovski's title defenses, his skill, his win streak that he had, I still think it's possible, and justifiable, very justifiable, that Volkanovski is number one pound for pound. And this is a bit of a side tangent, but to me, when it comes to the pound for pound discussion definition, someone like Kamaru Usman should be above Leon Edwards. And last time I saw in the rankings, Leon Edwards is ahead of him, but Kamaru clearly has the much more established dominance at welterweight. He was winning that fight until Leon just caught him with a head kick. He had the much larger win streak. Now, when it comes to the Dan Hooker accusations, look, all I can really say for something like this is, if Dan Hooker has proof of this, he should bring it out. Give it to USADA, give it to the relevant authorities, and give that proof if he has it. If he doesn't have it, I don't know what he's doing making these type of claims. Dan Hooker has never really struck me as the type of guy who would just come out and make something like this up. I understand he's upset that his teammate lost, but Makhachev's manager has given their reasoning for the mark on the arm, which was a blood test, the week of the fight, which makes sense. I don't know. If Dan's got proof, he should bring it out. Otherwise, it's just he said, she said, and can't really make anything out of it just by Dan Hooker's word. Anyways, that's the video for today. Like the video if you ended up liking it, and subscribe for more content similar to this. I will catch you guys later. Peace.